Good morning. I wanted to make a sort of a different video where I'm actually calling out for help because I needed people that could assist me with backtesting. So a few months ago, around 6 months ago, I published this video titled The Funded Trader $200,000 Challenge Day 1 Introduction. There was a model that I highlighted here, which I will explain in this video. I'm not going to open this. I'll re-explain it in this video, but I needed people that can help me backtest this model. And for those that are looking for an update on what happened to this challenge, well, eventually I failed it due to over trading and over leveraging. So I failed this challenge, which was also what led to me, partially what led to me wanting to dig down a little bit more in trading psychology, which I talked about in this video. And after some refinement and after some adjustments and obviously considering tips from you guys, I did come to a resolution which has been helping me so far. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I've gotten better from 6 months ago. So I will explain the model in this video, but I have to also give credit where credit is due and point out the fact that I got the model from Nexus Blast, well, originally from ICT, but he properly outlined everything there is about this model, everything there is, the way it's supposed to be according to his adjustments. And because of him, I was able to find an indicator that could assist me with backtesting, not necessarily for the trading itself, but because I don't recommend using indicators overall, but for the backtesting sake, it will speed up things. So I just have to make sure that I include that there. It's just Nexus Blast trading. So let's begin. Let me start from the actual start, from the absolute beginning of the entire backtesting thing. Assuming that we are starting from scratch and assuming that nobody has a premium subscription to TradingView like I do, assuming all that, I'm going to start from the absolute beginning here in this video. So let's click on join on TradingView. I'm going to sign in with my Google account to make it easier. Well, now that we've signed in, the first thing I prefer doing is, well, firstly I get rid of all of this. I don't need all these currency pairs, so I just remove them all like so. In this backtesting, we won't even need them anyway, so we're just gonna remove them all. And as for this, remove all of these. Then we're going to minimize that. And then here, we also don't need these. And over there, we remove the volume thing at the bottom because we need a clean chart. Let's see if TradingView actually has a dark theme, because I prefer working with dark theme. So yeah, assuming you have not customized your TradingView and you want to help with this backtesting challenge, which, by the way, I have to mention that there is a special reward that I have for anybody that actually sticks through and listens to the whole thing. I have a reward for anyone that can help me. It's not just going to be for the sake of helping me. So the first thing we do is we type ES for the E-mini S&P 500. And when we click on this arrow there on the left side of it, we can see that we have the different contract months, right? So for example, the first one of the year is ESH 2024, then ESM, then ESU, then ESZ. So it's only these 4 contract months, obviously, because there are 4 quarters in a year. So it shows also that the first one of the year and of the quarter is ESH. And in this challenge, in this backtesting that I want to do, I want to gather data for the last 5 years. In other words, I want to go as far back as 2019. So let's assume we are starting with 2019 and we want to start with the first contract quarter. We would then type ES H 2019. When you type this, nothing shows up here, but when you click on enter, you should notice there it's added on the watch list. So when you type, nothing shows up, but when you click on enter, it actually shows up. So when you click on it, you do get to see the data from 2019 January to March. I believe it's actually from December to March. I'm not sure what date. March 15, I think. So this is the data for ESH 2019. The next thing we want to do from here is we switch to the 5 minutes chart, because we only work with the 5 minutes chart in this backtesting data collection thing. We don't need this anymore, so we can make our screen wider. So the next thing we do is we go to the link that I'm going to add in the description for the indicator, which I'll paste in the description below. So this is what it looks like, how to install the indicator. First thing you do is we scroll down to the bottom of the page. I know it's a little bit of a task here, but it's just what it is. We do this once and that's it. So we click on add to favorites, then we can close this. When you then want to install the indicators, it should be part of your favorites there. So right there. So when you click on it, it applies automatically onto the page. We can already see from applying this indicator that it creates a whole bunch of lines that might be confusing to us. So first thing I want to do is get rid of the grid lines from TradingView by clicking on settings, canvas, then grid lines, none. So that's the first thing. Second thing we want to do is we click on the settings for the indicator itself, and we can see here on the time zone it's written UTC -4. I do know that the daylight savings time has changed, obviously, for this year at some point last year, and might be different at that time as well. So what I'm going to do is list or mention the time zone that should be used in a specific time period on the Excel sheet that we'll get to in a moment. But leaving this as is, we can scroll down and remove the previous day high / previous day low. We also remove that. We don't need the midnight price in this example. We can leave the FVGs as is. We can leave everything else exactly as it is and remove the new week opening gaps as well with the EQ line. Remove the new day opening gap line as well. We just need the fair value gaps and the session highs and lows. That's literally all we need. Obviously, if you've watched the video, then you would know how to do this manually without needing this indicator. But the indicator, as we can see, obviously helps us because it automatically plots everything for us. So the unfortunate / fortunate part would be the fact that we don't have the premium thing to be able to use the replay function there. I think, yeah, we don't have this, so it will have to be done manually. So the first thing we do is we only trade in New York sessions. So let's use this date. Let's use this date as the sample, right? Which is the 14th of March 2019. we can see we have Asia session high and Asia session low. When a line is red, it means it's been raided. When it's green, it means it has not been raided yet. For example, this low has not been raided, has not been swept. So when New York starts at 8 o'clock, when New York session starts at 8 o'clock, this time zone, I forgot, should also change to New York time. Right there, should change to New York time. So right there, we see it's 8 o'clock. When the session starts, the first thing we do is to look for which liquidity is swept first, right? We can see so far the high is still maintained, and right there we swept the London session low. So we swept the low, which is the sell side liquidity right there. All right, so finding out the liquidity that was taken first is key. In this case, sell side was taken first. The next thing we do is to find a swing high that gets purged and closed above. In this case, we can already see that we have this swing high right here, and we can see how price traded above it and closed above it. So this now becomes a valid market structure shift, right? This is a valid market structure shift right here. And then the next thing we do after this happens, we find the closest, in this case, it will be BC, the closest BC to buy ES from, right? The first BC on the 5-minute chart. And right there, we have a BC formed, a fair value gap in a form of a buy side imbalance. I know we made it so that it does not show any mitigated fair value gaps, so you would have to pay more attention to see which one has been mitigated or not been mitigated. I don't have my tools ready, so we're going to have to do this manually right there. So we have this fair value gap in the form of a BC. Remember the first thing, liquidity sweep, change in market structure or shift in market structure by a sweep of a swing high. And the first fair value gap, we see the closest one, because sometimes you could find there is one fair value gap here, another one here, and another one there. Take the closest one. So this is the closest fair value gap we have, right? Then the next thing we do, since this case we are buying at the entry of that fair value gap, the next thing we do is we set our stop loss at the swing low that we have, the low that swept London low, right? And then using this same tool, we can double click on it. Using the same tool, we want to risk 1-to-1, so we can see our stop loss is 28 handles, so the TP should be 28 as well. We click on OK, and we watch as price prints. We don't adjust the stop loss, we don't adjust the TP as well. We just leave price to do its thing. Price print onto the New York PM session. It keeps printing. It got close to the TP there during the next Asia session. It goes on to the next day and finally hits TP during London of the next day. So that would be considered a winning trade. Just 1-to-1. Put the stop loss at the swing low, TP, the same amount of handles that the stop loss is. So I'm not going to say risk strictly 5 handles or 10 handles or 20 handles. Just check based on what the stop loss is and make the same to be the target. So this would be recorded in the spreadsheet file that we have, where we are recording our backtesting data. So yeah, this is the point we move on to the spreadsheet file, which again I will post the link in the description. So we know the date here is on Thursday, the 14th of March 2019. When we head over to the spreadsheet, the first column is where you enter your username, which can be whatever you choose. It doesn't have to be your personal name. The second one is the contract month. The third one, the time zone, should be pre-filled already. It just isn't populated right now, but it will be. The day, the date, your entry, stop loss, exit, whether it was a buy or a sell, a win or a loss, the image, and comments, which can be anything that you would like to add. This is not a forced field to fill. So let's start populating the data that we just got now from the 14th of March 2019. So we scroll down to the 14th of March, which is there. My username, I'll just name myself JD. Contract, we know it's the ESH 2019, but it will be pre-filled, by the way. It will be. This entire column will be pre-filled, so you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about this filling up this part. And then this is to tell you what time zone to select on the indicator, because remember we were contemplating whether we are now using -5 or -4. Since we're backtesting, we have to use the accurate one for that time, and we can see that for that time it was UTC -4, so we stick to -4. Again, it's already pre-filled, but this is just for you to confirm as the backtester, because if we chose -5, let's see what happens. We can see what it looks like now, and then -5, click away. It changes everything. It changes the high of the session. Remember, the high was actually here, now it's here, so everything changes completely. So let's stick to -4. But of course, none of this would matter if your time zone here is wrong. So your time zone has to be New York before you even try to adjust with this. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, the day was on Thursday, and that's the date obviously filled up already. We double click on this long and short tool. We copy the entry price, we copy the stop loss price, and we copy the take profit level. The entry, well, the exit is our TP. The stop loss was that, and the entry was that. Was it a buy or a sell? It was a buy. Win or a loss? It was a win. And then trading view screenshot. So when you have this setup clear as day and night, outlining where the market structure shift happened, showing us that sell side was indeed taken first, and showing us your one-to-one risk reward, you click on this snapshot tool up there, then click on copy link. When that's copied, we head over there and we paste in the trading view image, so that way anybody checking your actual backtesting file or data can easily view what you've done. Of course, your charts may look differently colored than this, but this is essentially all that needs to be done. So as I already mentioned, this column for contract will be filled, and you'll just have to fill up the day, your username, entry, and whether it was a win or not. That's all that has to be done. Comment, in this case, nothing has to be done added, but maybe if I prefer to add a comment, I would say something like TP hit next day London. It doesn't really matter or make a difference, but just in case a comment needs to be made or added, it's an option. And that's basically it. So I said at the end, I will explain that this will not be for free. This will not be done for my sake alone, but for anybody that can cover one complete year of backtesting. So an entire year, for example, the entirety of 2019, I will reward them with a 50k funded account challenge with any prop firm of their choice. And whether they want a phase one, a one phase, a two phase, or a three phase challenge, I will reward them with a $50,000 prop firm account challenge for completing 1 full year of backtesting. Of course, that means if you complete 2 years, I'll reward you with 100k. But that's all for now. I don't have anything else to add besides this. If you have any questions, please do ask in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as I can.